Hi everyone. This is Ramya from Takeshu Master near MOSC Medical College, Kolancheri. Yeah, so I'm back with another video. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so this video will be the continuation of the last video in which I have explained about the essential grammar tips. So this video, I'm going to deal with how to use commas and what is all about this compound sentence and complex sentences in an OET letter. Okay. So I hope last video was informative and this one will also, maybe, I'm not sure. If you find that it is informative, kindly subscribe my channel and share it with your friends. Okay, so let's move on to the video. Okay, so first we can see that what all things we are going to deal in this video. So when to or common ways to use a comma. Okay, these are the situations in which usually we will be using a comma. You can see on the screen what are they. Complex sentence. When you're writing a complex sentence, you need to put a comma. Compound sentence, introductory phrases, transitional phrases, and list of ideas or items. Okay, these all 5 things will be explained in this video. What are complex sentence? What are compound sentence? What is this introductory phrases? What are transitional phrases? And when you are writing about list of ideas and items. Okay, so yeah, so now we can see, first we can see what is this compound sentence and complex sentence. Yes. So what is the difference between this complex sentence and compound sentence? Both these sentences are joined with a comma. Okay, both these sentences are made of 2 clauses and again these 2 sentences will be joined with a comma. Okay. So what are these clauses means? What do you mean by clauses? Clauses means you will be writing 2 sentences. Either it can be an independent sentence or else it can be a dependent sentence. Okay. So complex sentence will be containing. Okay, when you are writing a complex sentence, there will be an independent clause and a dependent clause. Okay. So when you're writing a complex sentence, you will be having an independent clause and a dependent clause. But when you're writing a compound sentence, the 2 phrases or 2 sentence will be independent. Okay, so that is the difference between this compound sentence and complex sentence. Okay, complex sentence, one dependent clause will also be there, but when it comes to compound sentence, both the sentence will be independent. Okay, so that what does that mean? Like independent clause can stand by itself. Okay, yeah. So now we can see what are these complex sentences. Okay, when to use comma when you are writing a complex sentence. You will be putting a comma when you are writing. If the independent clause comes first, you don't want to use a comma. Okay, if the independent clause are coming first or is coming first, you don't want to use a comma. You can see the example on the screen. Treatment will begin after a full diagnosis is made. Here there you can see 2 sentences are there, isn't it? 2 ideas are there, isn't it? The independent clause is that treatment will begin. That is an independent clause, isn't it? That can stand by itself. And the dependent clause is after a full diagnosis is made. Okay, so after a full diagnosis is made means that is not a complete sentence, is it? Something should be followed or something should be following this one, isn't it? So that is a dependent clause. So when you are writing the independent clause first in a complex sentence, you don't want to use a comma. So I hope that's clear. Now we can see the other way. Okay, if the dependent clause come first, you have to use a comma. You can see some examples over there. After the same sentence has been made. Okay, after a full diagnosis is made, so you don't know what that sentence is not complete, isn't it? So you can put a comma and you can write treatment will begin. Okay, so when in a complex sentence, if the dependent clause comes first, you need to put a comma after that and you have to write the independent clause. Okay, there are more examples over there. You can see that one. Due to non-compliant with the medication, that particular sentence will not be standing by itself, isn't it? So you need to put a comma. The patient's symptoms aggravated. Okay, the next one. Do not hesitate to contact me if you requires more information. Okay, so there do not hesitate to contact me means that is an independent clause, isn't it? So you don't want to use a comma. But if means that is a dependent clause. If comes first. When if comes first, that means you are going to say about a dependent clause. There you have to use a comma. Like the next one, if you require more information, that doesn't stand by itself. You need to put a comma after that. Do not hesitate to contact me. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Now we can see when to use commas in compound sentence. Okay, so The compound sentence means you will be having two independent clauses. Okay, so remember that when you are writing a compound sentence, that is made of two independent clauses. Okay, and these independent clauses will be a simple sentence which carries a subject and a verb. Okay, so independent clauses needs to be joined together with a comma, but along with that you need to use a conjunction. Okay, so I hope that is clear. When you are writing a compound sentence, you need to use a comma followed by a conjunction. Okay, examples are given. You can see the examples. We do not have the patient's record. Okay, that is an independent clause, isn't it? And you can put a comma after that followed by the conjunction because the procedure was performed at a different facility. These both sentences are independent. The procedure was performed at a different facility. That itself can stand. Okay, when you're combining it together, you need to use a comma followed by a conjunctions. Okay, so again remember that I have seen people making mistakes like after, due to, that. Okay, these kind of words are not conjunctions, and I have seen students putting comma before that. Okay, you don't want to use that one. Okay, that is all are not conjunctions and you don't want to put comma before these words. Okay. Next, another example is also given there. The procedure was performed at a different facility. Okay, the procedure was performed at a different facility, comma, followed by the conjunction. So, we do not have the patient's record. Okay, so hope that's clear. Okay, now, this is some doubt which most students have. Whether you can write two sentences instead of worrying about clauses and commas. Definitely you can write, there is no problem. As I told in the beginning, in an OET letter, it contains, the letter as such will be containing of simple sentences will be there, active and passive voices will be there, compound sentence, complex sentence, all these type of sentences are there. Only then your letter will be good and you can get a score of B. Okay, like 350 plus 350. If you want to score plus 350, it's always better to include compound sentence and complex sentence. Even if you write simple sentences, the other person can understand it. But like as OET letter is, or OET is an official exam, and definitely you have to include these kind of informations, these kind of sentences when you are writing this one. Okay, so it's better to write compound sentences or complex sentences in your letter. Okay, in order to get it well organized and structured, it's better to use this type of sentence. We can see some examples for that one. The first one you can see, Mr. Baker was sent to the hospital. Okay, that is a simple sentence. The cause of a headache was unknown. These are two simple sentences. Okay, it's the idea is understood, isn't it? If you're writing in this way also, the idea is understood. But just think, if you're writing in the other way, when you are using a compound sentence there, Mr. Baker was sent to the hospital, comma, because the cause of a headache was unknown. That has been well organized, well structured, isn't it? That sentence is more beautiful than the first one. The second example also can be seen. Mr. John neglected to make a follow-up appointment. His headache returned in September. Okay, both are two simple sentences that carries meaning. But when you write it in the other way, okay, just see the example. Mr. John neglected to make a follow-up appointment, comma, so his headaches returned in September. Okay, so that is more meaningful, isn't it? Have you felt like that? Felt like that? See, Mr. John's headache returned in September, comma, because he neglected to make a follow-up appointment. That would be more well structured, isn't it? That gives more beautiful, it's more, the sentence is more beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. Now we can see the next topic, when this comma can be omitted. The comma can sometimes be omitted when the sentences are short. Okay, when you are writing small sentences, you can just avoid commas. See this example. He exercised regularly, but he overeats on the weekends. Next one, she followed your advice and she had a good results. You may be thinking why I put a he and she in the brackets. It's like when you are writing small sentences, it's even if there is no subject after the conjunction, it is accepted. Okay, and again see, I haven't put a comma also. When you are writing small sentences, this is something which you need to pay more attention, because even if how many times I have explained the same thing, Again, this is something which students makes mistakes. I have seen that one, that's I'm saying. Okay, so when you are writing short sentences, okay, when you are writing small sentences which has been like two ideas but it is very small, isn't it? He exercised regularly. You have used a conjunctions there which is not followed by a comma, isn't it? So which is not following a comma, isn't it? So that means what? These are small sentences or short sentence. When you are writing short sentences and if it is being connected with a conjunction also, you don't want to put a comma. Along with that, you don't want to put the subject also after the conjunction. Okay, so he exercised regularly but overeats on the weekends. She followed your advice and had a good result. So even if you don't put that subject over there also, the sentence is right. Okay, so that is also finished. Now we can see another way for joining compound sentences. This is something which I have seen students writing in this way. That is quite good also. Like you will be using a connective. The only thing is that the only thing which you want to understand when using a connective is that if you are using this connective, technically it is an adverb. Therefore, it's an adverb. Okay, even then I'm using it as a connective. So if you are using this connective in a sentence and if you are using that in the middle of a sentence, you have to put a semicolon before that connective and put a comma after the connective. Okay, only then the sentence will be meaningful and you will be getting a score. Even if you have put a connective and you have put a comma and you when you write the sentence and you will be thinking like, yes, I have used this kind of sentence, I have used a compound sentence. But remember that you need to put a semicolon before that one. Okay, so what is the example? The cause of a headache was unknown. Semicolon, therefore, comma, Mr. Baker was sent to the specialist. Okay, so that is it. Now another thing is that common errors in compound sentence. These are some common errors that is found in the compound sentence. So the thing is that you have to make sure that you will be using a comma and a conjunction when you are writing a compound sentence. Okay, see the example. The first one is wrong. Eye drops were administered and you have put a comma. The patient was advised to return several days later. Do you think that it conveys a meaning? It conveys a complete meaning. But sometimes it will be conveying meaning, but does it convey a complete meaning? Do you think so? Just read the second sentence. Eye drops were administered and the patient was advised to return several days later. That is more clear, isn't it? That idea is more clear, isn't it? So that means when you are writing a compound sentence, you need to put a comma followed by a conjunction. Okay, next one. Introductory and transitional phrases. What is this introductory and transitional phrases? Maybe you don't know the name, but you have used these kind of phrases in your letter. Okay, yes, you can see this examples there. Introductory phrases will always be seen on the introduction of a sentence, starting of a sentence. Example, on February, you have used that one. On examination, on physical examination, or on investigations. These kind of things are known as introductory phrases. Okay, so introductory phrases are always seen on the beginning of a sentence and the examples are given on the screen. You can go through that one and you will understand it. Okay, now we can see what are these transitional phrases. Transitional phrases at times can be seen in the middle of a sentence. Okay, and the thing which you have to notice that when you are writing that transitional phrases, you need to put a comma, we need to put a comma before and after the phrase. That means when you're going to start the phrase, you have to put a comma, and when you finish that phrase, you have to put another comma. Okay, that means even if that particular phrase is not there in the sentence also, the sentence will be meaningful. You have used that type of sentence, I know, but still I will request you that if you are not that expert in using this language, it's better to avoid this type of sentences. Even if you are using that introductory phrases also, you will be getting a good score. If you are including your compound sentence and complete sentence in your letter, you will be getting your enough score. Okay, so if you, unless you are familiar with this thing, or unless you are an expert in using language, it's better to avoid these kind of phrases. Okay, I'm just advising only, I'm not insisting you to avoid that one. Okay, now we can see the examples of this one. Example, while he was in the care center. Okay, while he was in the care center, and now we are going to put a comma and we are going to say the transitional phrase from October through February. That is the transitional phrase. Okay, again we have put a comma there. Mr. Baker regained movement in his shoulder. You can see that it is a bit complex, isn't it? Again, the same thing can be written with the in a compound sentence, okay, without this transitional phrases, with a congestion and a comma. Just see the last example. Mr. Baker started in the care center from October through February, comma, use a congestion, and he was able to regain movement in his shoulder. Okay, so there you haven't used, like you haven't even if you haven't used this transitional phrases also, the sentence is good and you can write in that way. Okay, so I hope that's all clear. Now the last thing is that you have to put commas when you are listing the ideas or items. Like when you are writing more than 3 items, more than 2 items, when you're writing 3 or more, you need to separate it with commas. The first 2 things should be separated with comma. Okay, or at the last word or the last item should be accompanied with the word and or the word or. Okay, you can see the example there. The patient was advised to take painkillers, comma, antibiotics and adequate rest. Okay, so when you are listing 3 or more items, you need to separate it with comma, and the last item should be accompanied with the word and or. Okay, so that word should be preceded by the word and or. Okay. Now the next thing is that using commas in the opening and closing of your letter. When to put commas in the opening and closing of your letter? The first thing is that when you are writing the address, okay, when the first letter, when you're starting the letter, definitely you will be writing with the I make my students write address first, second one only date first, and second only I will ask them to write address. Okay, so when you're writing the address, when you're writing both the state name and a city name, it should be separated with the comma. Okay, the next place where you need to put the comma is that after the end of the salutation, dear Mr. X, you need to put comma after that one. Okay, and last you need to put comma after yours sincerely or yours faithfully, whatever you're writing. After that also you need to put a comma. Okay, so I hope that is also clear. Now this is a small quiz. Whatever I have taught today, from that I have made a small quiz. You can do this one and you can put the answers on the comment box. Okay, so if it is clear, kindly do this exercise and put the answers on the comment box. So yeah, so that is it. I hope that was clear, and if you think that it is informative and if it is good, and if you think that it is good, kindly share it with your friends and subscribe my channel. And if you want to join the class, the next batch will be starting on 15th of June. Okay, so you can contact me in the number that is seen on the screen. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Thank you. So next time we can see with another video. Thank you.